Welcome back to the cryptoworld channel, everyone. My name is Josh, and right now, this bullish divergence is getting extremely close to invalidating, while this new signal just confirmed on this chart, which I'll talk about in just a moment, so definitely stick around. First of all, starting off on the US dollar index chart here on the daily time frame, and over the last one day, we have now seen a daily candle close in the US dollar index above this previous week high. And so essentially what this means is we now have one confirmation in the form of a daily candle close above resistance, which is technically a bullish signal for the DXY, for the US dollar index. And if you watched my last video on the channel, you'll know that if the DXY is bullish, that usually means Bitcoin is bearish, because this chart right here shows the Bitcoin price on the daily time frame in the candlesticks and the DXY, or the US dollar currency index, in the red line right here. And once again, as I mentioned in my last video, usually when we see the DXY go to the downside, that happens when the Bitcoin price is bullish. But on the flip side, if the DXY is bullish, if the US dollar index is bullish, that usually means Bitcoin is bearish. And so this has been the case since around the middle of July. Once again, since then, the DXY has been bullish, and obviously Bitcoin has been more bearish, at least in the shorter term trend. But considering the fact that the DXY is now breaking out above this previous high, this is technically a bullish signal pointing towards possibly a larger trend reversal, if you're talking about the much larger trend, not just these short-term bullish and bearish trends. But ideally, in order to further confirm an actual trend reversal in the much larger trend, we need to not only confirm a higher high, which has now been done, but also confirm a significant higher low in place above this previous low. And so obviously, at least as of right now, that has not yet happened. So for all we know, this could just be a fake out above this previous high before heading lower. But obviously, as of right now, it is too early to tell whether the much larger trend is actually reversing. But what we do know is obviously the shorter term trend in the DXY is bullish. We are now breaking out above this previous high, above resistance, which means we could likely head up towards this next line of resistance based on these previous highs. And if that were to happen, that would be approximately a 1% move to the upside in the DXY, which should translate to roughly around a 4% move to the downside in the price of Bitcoin. And if you want to know why that is the case, then check out my last video on the channel, because I went into much more detail about all of this in that previous video. But anyway, getting into this daily Bitcoin chart, and as you can see, the price of Bitcoin is technically still trading just above this important area of support, sitting in between around 24.3k to 25.3k. And so it's possible that because the DXY is moving to the upside, that means the Bitcoin price could see some bearish price action, which means it's possible the price of Bitcoin could head into that area of support, but not necessarily confirm a break below that support simply based on that DXY signal. And so obviously for that, we would need to see other signals, but at least for now, once again, the short-term trend is still bearish, and this is the case in both the price action and the RSI on the daily time frame. And if you're looking at the daily Bitcoin MACD, this is still showing very low momentum, at least in the somewhat shorter term. And now, as I've also mentioned over the last few days, there is technically a bullish divergence forming on the daily time frame right now, but at least as of right now, even though this is potentially forming, it is not yet confirmed. But if you're zooming into a smaller time frame, looking at the 6-hour Bitcoin chart, technically speaking, for the last few days now, this short-term bullish divergence has been confirmed and has been playing out mostly in the form of choppy sideways price action, which, as always, is one of the most common outcomes from a bullish divergence, either choppy sideways price action, if not a slight bullish relief. And so essentially, this is acting as a bit of a pause from that bearish trend on the daily time frame, at least in the imminent short term. But as I mentioned in the intro of this video, if you're looking at the 6-hour Bitcoin RSI, this is getting extremely close to actually breaking this ascending line of support, because right now it is testing this exact line of support. And so basically, if we see a breakdown in the RSI below this line of support and actually form a new lower low below this previous low, then that would essentially invalidate this short-term bullish divergence, which would be a signal potentially pointing towards the resumption of this bearish trend after we've seen that small pause from from the trend. And so, of course, this is just something to pay attention to. And as always, I'll keep you up to date in these videos. So make sure you subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on any of these valuable videos. And as for support and resistance, looking at the Bitcoin order books across multiple exchanges, right now we have a decent amount of buy orders in between around 25.2k to 25.3k. And we also have another group of buy orders at around 25,000 and another group of buy orders in between around 24.7k to 24.8k. And so basically at those price levels right there, we should expect a bit of short-term support for the price of Bitcoin. And as for resistance, looking at the sell orders, we still have quite a lot of sell orders in between around 26.1k to 26.3k. And so once again, we should expect a decent amount of resistance in the short term around that price range. But anyway, now getting into the Ethereum part of this video, this is on the daily ETH to US dollar chart. And right now, the price of ETH is still extremely close to potentially a breakdown below this important area of support. And this area of support, which is based on these previous lows and also the volume profile indicator, is sitting in between around 1620 to 1660 approximately. And as you can see in the volume profile indicator, below around 1620, we don't really have a lot of support in that area immediately to the downside, which basically means if we see a confirmed break below this area of support, then it's likely we could see a fairly quick move to the downside below that level. But something just worth pointing out right now is a possible bullish divergence forming once again on the daily time frame, but at least as of right now, that has not yet confirmed, so it's just something to pay attention to while it is potentially forming. And as for the daily Ethereum MACD, at least for now, this is still currently showing very low momentum on the daily time frame. And so overall, just in the imminent short term, we're seeing a bit of a pause from the bearish trend, but we're still technically within a shorter term bearish trend. And now if this trend continues with a confirmed break below this support, then in that case, we still have the 50% retracement level acting as support at around 1510 to 1520. And below that level, we also have the golden pocket sitting in between around 1360 to 1.4k. And if you're zooming into the shorter term, looking at the 6-hour time frame, technically speaking, this small bullish divergence is still currently active because at least for now, the 6-hour Ethereum RSI is still holding above this ascending line of support, forming higher lows. And so once again, this small bullish divergence on the 6-hour chart is essentially resulting in a small pause from that bearish trend on the daily time frame. And while this bullish divergence on the 6-hour chart remains active, once again, we're continuing to expect some more sideways price action, basically a pause from that bearish trend. But considering this is only on the 6-hour chart and it's one of the very few bullish signals that we have right now for the price of ETH, basically this by itself is not really enough to actually confirm a trend reversal from bearish to bullish here on the daily time frame. And so this is why I've been saying just in the short term, once again, expect a bit of a pause from the trend, but not necessarily the end of the trend. And now if you want to know how to make a lot of money in crypto, no matter if the price is going to the upside, to the downside, or simply chopping around it sideways like right now, then make sure to watch these videos popping up right here on your screen. The video in the top left shows you how to make money if the price is bullish or bearish using AI, and the video in the bottom left of your screen shows you how you can easily profit from choppy sideways price action. But anyway, that's everything that I have to say for today. I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all in the next video.